rescuers finally reached the campsite, nearly 3 weeks had already passed. The mountain had buried almost everything beneath deep snow, but one sight immediately stopped them in their tracks. The tent was still standing, partially buried, and then they saw something impossible. The fabric had been sliced open from the inside. Inside the tent, almost everything remained exactly where it should have been. Heavy winter coats, boots, food, cameras, blankets, personal belongings. It looked as if the hikers had stepped outside for only a few minutes, planning to return at any moment, but they never did. Then rescuers noticed the footprints, not the footprints of people running in terror, just footprints, walking quietly into the freezing night, some barefoot, some wearing a single boot. Following the trail, rescuers reached the edge of a giant pine tree. There, the first bodies were discovered. Beneath the tree lay 2 hikers wearing almost no clothing. Nearby, the remains of a small fire still burned into the frozen ground. It wasn't a campfire. It was the desperate attempt of people who knew they might never survive the night. Between the tree and the tent, 3 more bodies were later found, one after another, frozen where they had fallen. Their positions told a tragic story. They had been trying to return to it, back to warmth, but the mountain never let them make it. Months later, as spring slowly melted the snow, search teams made the final discovery. The remaining 4 hikers were found deep inside a nearby ravine, and what investigators found made the mystery even darker. Some of the survivors had taken clothing from their dead friends in a desperate attempt to stay alive, but the injuries defied explanation. Crushed ribs, severe skull fractures, injuries so powerful that investigators later compared them to a major car accident. Yet strangely, there were almost no external wounds, as if an invisible force had struck them. One hiker was missing her tongue. Parts of her face had vanished. Years later, investigators suggested natural decomposition, but many people remained unconvinced. And then, witnesses reported mysterious orange lights moving above the mountains during the same period. Military tests, secret experiments, infrasound. Over the decades, every theory has been debated, and every theory leaves questions unanswered. Eventually, the official Soviet investigation closed the case with just 3 words: an unknown compelling force. More than 60 years later, those words remain one of the most chilling conclusions ever written in an official report. 9 experienced hikers entered Dead Mountain. None of them ever came home. And perhaps the most terrifying part of the Dyatlov Pass incident is that after all these years, no one can say with certainty what was waiting for them in the snow.